Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the Antec P180 case. This case comes in a silver black color. The silver parts are actually aluminum, but the body is steel, so it's really sturdy, and the remainder is plastic. At the front is the power LED, firewire port, two USB 2 ports, a microphone jack, headphone jack, and the front door can be locked. The front door in this case is held into place by magnetic force, and it's double hinged so it can swing all the way back up to 270 degrees. There are four 5¼ inch drive bays and one 3½ inch external drive bay. And these air filters can be very easily removed for cleaning. Also note that there are ventilation holes around the front bezel on the left side and the right side, as well as at the bottom, and this allows the fans to intake cool air when the front door is closed. At the top is a spoiler with lots of ventilation and an included 120mm exhaust fan. The left and right side panels don't have a window, fan, or ventilation, but they have an innovative 3-layer design which has excellent noise dampening properties. This makes it one of the quietest mid-tower cases on the market, so it's a perfect case for a near-silent build. At the back of the case, at the very top, is an external fan control. Both the top and rear fans can be set up to a low, medium, or high speed. They include an I/O shield plate as well as a 120mm exhaust fan. Here are the 7 expansion slots, and there are 2 rubber grommeted ports for water cooling systems tubes to pass through. At the bottom is where a standard ATX power supply gets installed, and there are extra ventilation holes all around the perimeter of the power supply. 2 thumb screws are included, but only on the left side panel. This case is compatible with standard ATX form factor motherboards. Notice how it has a compartmentalized design. The main computer components would get installed in the top chamber, and the power supply as well as the hard drives would get installed in the bottom chamber. This compartmentalized design separates heat from the different components, and therefore the fans can exhaust all this heat in each chamber, ensuring that the inside of the case remains cool. I mentioned earlier that there are 4 external 5¼ inch drive bays and 1 external 3½ inch drive bay. Well, there are an additional 6 internal 3½ inch drive bays. 4 hard drives can be installed vertically in the bottom hard drive cage, and 2 hard drives can be installed horizontally in the top hard drive cage. Both of these hard drive cages are removable. First, you'll need to remove a single thumb screw on each hard drive cage. And then there's a little ring here, and this is actually snapped to the hard drive cage. Just unsnap that and pull the hard drive cages out. The bottom hard drive cage has silicone grommets, and the top hard drive cage also has silicone grommets, which have excellent anti-vibration properties. Also note that the top hard drive cage has a small compartment for storing things like screws or cable ties. Along this edge is padding. There is also padding on the right side of the case. This is to ensure that when the case side panels touch the case itself, that they do not rattle. The power supply cage has a silicone footing. This is to ensure that the power supply doesn't cause any vibrations. Thankfully, this case does not have any sharp edges, so you won't cut yourself or the cables. There are a couple of holes in the top of the lower chamber. This is to allow the data and power cables to pass through, but you really do not want to have these open because heat will radiate from the lower chamber to the top chamber. So you can use this piece of plastic to customize your particular power and cable setup. An optional 120mm fan can be installed at the front for added cooling. There's also an optional middle 120mm fan that can be installed on the upper hard drive cage to cool the video card or video cards. To install a 120mm fan, remove the drive trays, attach the included wire brackets to the hard drive cage, and mount the fan. With the trays removed, the hard drive cage acts as a duct, so the 120mm fan can intake cool air from outside the case. Please note though that a 120mm fan can't be mounted if hard drives are installed in the upper hard drive cage. There is another included 120mm fan in the lower chamber for additional cooling power, and this fan has its own switch, so the fan can be set to a low, medium, or high setting. On the right side of the case, behind the motherboard tray, is a cable management system. Cable ties are used so the cables can be neatly and securely attached. Organizing cables behind the motherboard tray means the inside of the case is free of cables. This results in better air circulation inside the case, and it looks very neat and tidy. At the bottom are 4 soft silicone feet that have excellent anti-vibration properties and won't scratch the surface. Now have a listen to the stock cooling. First, at the low speed, medium speed, and finally at the high speed. This may not be the newest case from Antec, but it's still a fantastic product, and it's a perfect case if you're thinking about building a near silent computer system. Overall, it's a kick-ass product. Until next time, take care.